Okay, so first thing to notice about question 5 is that it's a velocity time graph. The question asks us about stage B. So you can see that in stage B the velocity is 5 meters per second, and if you follow that down onto the x-axis you can see that's between 7 and 10 seconds there. Okay, so it's a constant velocity, but that's not enough to get you the mark. Okay, you do need to say that it's 5 meters per second to get the mark. The second part of the question asks about stage D of the journey. And you can see that during stage D the speed is 0 meters per second. Okay, so they're stationary for that part of the journey. How does the acceleration for stage E is greater than the acceleration for stage A? Well, if you look at the graph, you can see that the line in E is steeper than the line in A. The other way of saying that is that the gradient in E is greater than the gradient in A. So line E is steeper. Calculate the distance that the student travels in the last 10 seconds of the journey. Now, this isn't a very good question, because you might think that the last 10 seconds of the journey, okay, are between 20 and 30 seconds, but then you can see that actually after 27 seconds then they're not moving anyway, so maybe you should work out the distance covered between 17 and 27. Okay, and either of these methods we counted as correct because the question was quite ambiguous there. I'm going to work it out for 17 to 27, and as you can see, what I'm doing to begin with is breaking that into two areas. I'm going to call the two areas Y and Z, and then to work out the area of Y, I'm going to do the height times the width of the rectangle, which is the height of the rectangle is 7. Okay, and then from 17 seconds to 24 seconds is another 7 seconds, so that gives me 49. And then to work out the area of Z, I'm going to use half of the base times the height, which is the formula for working out the area of a triangle. The base of the triangle is 3. Oops, lost my pen for a moment there. Let's try and get it back. Times by 3 times by 7. 3 times 7 is 21, times by half is 10.5, 10.5. And then of course I've got to add this distance to this distance, so 49 plus 10.5 is equal to 59.5 meters, and that gets us 4 marks. The final part of the question, let me just zip down to it. Whoops. Okay, so for part D, they're asking us to find the total distance travelled. They've told us the total distance, and they're asking us to find the average speed. Okay, so the average speed, the formula for that is the total distance divided by the total time. The total distance is 106.5, and then the time for the journey was 27 seconds. That was the time that they were actually moving for. So if you work that out, it's 3.94 meters per second, and then they've asked us to show that that's about 4 meters per second. So what we do is we do a squiggly equal sign to say approximately equal to, and then that's 4 meters per second.